Kia ora everyone, Chris here, and I'll bring you a bit of an update on what we've been up to today here in Israel. At the moment, we're in what's called the wilderness. So this space is supposed to remind us of Jesus' trying time in the wilderness, his time of reflection, his time of temptation, where the devil was trying him over those 40 days. It is the wilderness, and it is a barren land, but it's also quite beautiful. The sun's just setting here, and the shadows that it creates on these rolling hilltops and the colours that it casts over this area is stunning. But we've just come from the Jordan River, the place where, as we know, Jesus was baptized by John. It's a beautiful place, a life-giving place, a place where God himself spoke and said, "This is my Son, the beloved, in whom I am well pleased." And so with that in our minds, it was quite interesting to note that on either side of the road there was a sign, a yellow background with a red triangle on top. And that, we learnt, is the international sign for landmines. So in this most sacred space, in the space of life and joy, in a space where God himself spoke, there's an ever-present threat of danger, of destruction, of death. And so that's quite an interesting thing for us to reflect on. But as I said, we're here in what can only be called the wilderness. I'll see if I can give you a bit of a look around. So there are the hills that I was talking about back there, and it just stretches and stretches and stretches. And so little bits of our group are just scattered along here, having a bit of a time of reflection, but a time of karakia, a time of prayer, before we jump back on the bus and head back to St. George's College. We had Eucharist also this morning at St. George's Cathedral. It was a bilingual service in Arabic and English, led by the Dean, and it was an interesting karakia. Usually bilingual services don't faze me too much, because obviously one of the languages that we use is Māori, and then the other one's English. I understand both of those languages, but in this context, it was a bit different. We're in a space where one of the languages we had no idea of, and so that created an interesting spirit, an interesting mood in that place. But it was awesome to be there. And so whānau, pretty soon we'll be jumping back on the bus, heading back to Jerusalem, heading back into Israel proper, where we'll be settling in for the night before having another full day tomorrow. So whānau, just want to thank you all for your prayers, for your tautoko as our rōpū here from Tairāwhiti to continue our journey in the Holy Land. You're all in our prayers, you're all in our thoughts, and we'll be seeing you pretty soon when we get back. So keep checking into Ngā Tapuaiuihu for some updates, and join us on this pilgrimage in the Holy Land. Kia ora tātou.